My name is Julie Dennis Fox, and I'm the founder and formulator of CannaJointRelief.com. It's my honor and my pleasure to be here. Thank you for joining me. I will move right along on these slides. And this is a particularly important one that we start off with a little disclaimer. I am not a practitioner. I'm not here to treat, cure, or mitigate disease. I'm just relaying information, the history of the product that I've been making for the last 8, 9, almost 10 years. So it's a little history lesson of Canna Joint Relief. This is your email. Email me, let me know where to send that complimentary product. I'll send that right out. And again, I appreciate you being here. I have been around this dietary supplement industry, and in fact, I've been doing webinar presentations and live presentations for the last 20 years for a variety of organizations and dietary supplement companies. This has been a long time passion for me. I believe that some of these products that we sell and represent actually can help change the world and support a healthier world. So it's a revolutionary tool for those of us, for me particularly, getting into the dietary supplement industry, and in fact, getting into herbal traditions. I started very, very young with an interest of all the variety of herbal traditions, including and particularly the herbal traditions in my own backyard of, at that point, Southern California, now Northern California, and I just kind of spread out from there. Eventually, in the 1970s, yes, in Southern California, just in Los Angeles, San Fernando Valley, I got a job at a health food store. The health food store is still there, VP Health Foods. I was standing, in fact, at the registers, one of my first jobs. I was working there and at Burger King at the same time, about a block away, and it made it really clear which direction I was going to go in. Trust me. So in the 70s, I'm working at this health food store. I'm reading a little pamphlet on golden seal. At the time, I was like totally nondescript plant. I hadn't even heard the word before, golden seal. So I'm looking at this photograph. I'm reading the description of the traditions, the herbal tradition around golden seal and how it could help support health. I was looking at the science and all the chemical constituents, and the light bulb went off. And I said to myself, I'm going to be doing herbalism, herbs, whatever that means. I'm going to be invested in promoting herbal medicine for the rest of my life. I had an epiphany. So decades later, here we are. And in that pursuit of herbal knowledge and touting the benefits of botanicals, of course, I come upon many of the world's herbal traditions and many of the world's herbs, including cannabis. It's been used for thousands of years. So in my mind, it is just another one of those herbs that has grown and been utilized for humans for thousands of years. There's science and there's tradition. It's what I'm interested in both. So when it came to a time in my life, about, 17 years ago, when I moved up to this region of Northern California, Nevada City, I'm in this little town. And unbeknownst to me, when I moved to this region, the biggest industry was cannabis. Okay. I had no idea before I moved up here, but oddly enough, or not surprisingly, in fact, every harvest season, September, October, I would end up with so much raw material. I can't even tell you how much raw material, cannabis, that I would get from people in the community. I would start making stuff, lotions and potions and all sort of things, and giving it away for many years. And I knew that and always have known that if I'm going to produce an herbal remedy of any kind, a loose leaf tea, a tincture, a balm, any one of those things that we herbalists make throughout the years and generations, I knew it would have to be always clean, organic, and effective. Why make it if it's not these three things? So when I first off, I started making this product and giving it away, like I say, for years. And eventually, when dispensaries, lo and behold, come up and in favor here in California, they start opening up back in the day still, about 9 years ago, I put a label on it and I said, I'm going to sell to dispensaries. Totally odd and a little, at the time, sketchy industry. I'd be going to warehouse districts, dealing with guards with guns, which still happen actually in many dispensaries, guards with guns, cash only basis at that time. I was not comfortable doing that. So when it came to CBD from hemp, these are my people, this is my lane, dietary supplement world, the retail world. So there it is. And this is some of the progression of the labels. The original label, when I started putting a label on it, it was an homage to the Indian sadhu who actually imbibes in cannabis before their yogic meditations. And then we get a little bit more professional throughout the years. So what do I put in it? And why do I put those things in it? Of course, there's CBD, 100 milligrams of CBD per ounce. We start there, but I know herbal formulation. And in herbal formulation, typically, obviously in a formula, you have a grouping of botanicals, a grouping of ingredients. Typically, they work better synergistically, supporting the action of one another. After these decades, I chose the botanicals with care, and only those botanicals that had science, research, and tradition. That's the power duo right there. The botanicals all had to be very focused on supporting healthy movement. I'm going to leave it at that. I start with a base of beautiful, nourishing olive oil. The traditions around olive oil are many, many, many. Beautiful, beautiful plant, and the oil from within. Now, the botanicals I add, by the way, are all certified organic CCOF, as is the beeswax that I put in there. So I'd say it's about 95% organic, CCOF organic. Botanicals, including hops, the beautiful hops where we get beer. Okay, I like a nice IPA, maybe once or twice a year, but I added hops because it helps support a healthy balance of cyclooxygenase. Cyclooxygenase is a chemical in the cascade of chemicals that are released in the inflammatory response. Hops, Humulus lupulus, beautiful little strobiles, those little flowers. Ginger, warming, soothing ginger, used in the Japanese tradition of Kampo medicine, in traditional Chinese herbalism, in Ayurveda, and now on our own Western shores, thankfully. And we're able to get a CCOF certified version of ginger. And I don't use, by the way, I don't receive these herbs powder. When you get a powder, it has already started to degrade in potency. It's starting to oxidize. So it's cheap. That's the cheaper material. People do it. I wait for the whole plant, and then I use that whole plant. And there are a lot of fine details to producing herbal formulations. It, for me, is not just throwing things in there haphazardly. So ginger's soothing. Now, ginger, like hops, has shown to, according to emerging research, to support a healthy inflammatory response, in part because of its action with that cyclooxygenase. Let's leave it at that. There's a lot of information online. We're not going to get into that kind of detail here, but soothing, warming ginger. When you put that on your skin, it's a beautiful effect. And then lavender, for many reasons. Lavender, we know and love lavender, in part because of the smell. I, as an herbalist, do not mind the mentholated smell. You know that smell? Tiger Balm, for example. I like Tiger Balm. I do. I know that's not CCOF certified organic, but it's one that I've been using on and off occasionally throughout the years since I was a teenager. So I don't mind that mentholated smell, but I typically don't want to walk around smelling mentholated. It's like announcing to the world, I am wearing a medicated balm. That's okay, but I generally don't want to announce that to the world when I begin once again to go out and about in the world. So lavender, that soothing smell. And when we smell lavender, traditionally, it helps calm us down. Okay, so that's a big statement. When something can calm us down, it changes everything in our physiology. When we have a healthy stress response, it changes everything. When we have a healthy stress response, those other reactions in our body are also affected and become healthier, including our inflammatory response. Lavender, gentle looking, yet potent. We've known this as herbalists for generations. So there it is. By the way, those certified organic botanicals I just went over undergo extended extraction. It's a complex way, a traditional way of extracting the chemical constituents out of the botanicals. It's not quick, it's not easy, but it's worth it. The potency increases as those chemical constituents are extracted out gently from those botanicals. Extended extraction. We're the only ones that do it. Again, it's clean. I wanted a clean product. There was no question about that. I wanted something I myself would want to use. I'm pretty particular, pretty particular. And that's how Canna Joint Relief came to be. And although on this Zoom that I have, unfortunately, I'm unable to take questions, but like on the immediate live version, but here is the email for your complimentary 1 ounce Canna Joint Relief. And if you do have questions, pile it on. You know, I am here. That is my job now, to support you. So this is what I do every day. Thank you so much for your time, for your appearance here today on this training. Call me, email me. Again, if there's anything I could do to support you and your work out there in the world, I appreciate it. Have a great evening. Thank you so much.